Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, hang out with this nerd.
Ted.
Have you ever gotten the worst D&D advice ever? Was it from Nerdarchy? Watch this video and you'll find out.
Hey guys, jump down to the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
We want to do a video response to Taking20. Cody over there did a video that I think Ted's wife stumbled upon late at night from watching one of our videos. It came up as recommended, and it was like the worst D&D advice ever.
The worst D&D DM advice ever.
Right. And Ted's like, hey, did we do a GM 911 for this guy? And I said, so I watched the video, and he said he was in a group chat with like 6 or 7 guys.
And all of them gave, like, resoundingly the same advice.
They'd all been gaming for like 20 years, he said. So hopefully it really wasn't about us, and we didn't give that advice. But, you know, essentially he was running Storm King's Thunder, not to be confused with
Sky King's Thunder.
Yes.
They refuse to ever let that one go.
You literally said it 15 minutes ago.
Did I really?
Yes. So that's the only reason I had to bring it up. But no, and you know, basically he's like, you know, I got this game, I got the book physically, then I got the book for Roll20. Now, I'm fairly certain we've given advice where it's like, well, you might need to reset your campaign. The players might not be into it. We may have said, well, if the players are acting horrendous, their consequences may cause them to die and bad things to happen. But I really don't think we've ever said TPK the party.
I would agree with that.
Oh, I don't think it was about us, but we have done, I think our GM 911 folders at this point is about 10% of our catalog. So, you know, it's closing in on 200 videos. It's a lot of videos.
It's a lot of advice. Hopefully it's, you know,
yeah.
It's not one of those.
Yeah. But anyway, and we haven't done it. This is a recent video. It happened mid-January. And we've actually slowed down in the number of GM 911s we've been doing lately anyways. I don't really think it's us. And if it was, we apologize.
All right, so he's running Storm King's Thunder, and his players are awesome. They're new to the game. They've got backstories. They're doing character voices, but he's way off of book. He iterates that a number of times. And he wanted to know how does he get the players back to the actual core of the game. Nerdarchy has told you guys flat out many times, we don't generally run a lot of pre-planned adventures. We run our own stuff. That's where our cup of tea is. That's what we're used to. And the guy was having fun doing it, but he wanted to actually run the adventure that he purchased. He was excited by it. So typically when we do a GM 911, we like to give multiple things of advice. So,
well, that was kind of the other tip off. Like I can rarely think of a time when we just said do one thing.
Right.
It's usually 2 or 3 options, and then like after and if they don't appeal to you, go to the comments because there'll be a bunch more there.
Right, because you know we got a bunch of awesome fans out there.
We do. You guys are amazing.
So I look at it, and while I'm watching this video, my first thought is, okay, well, you're excited about the game that you're currently playing, even though you're way off base. You're tying in backstories, which is fabulous. I love when DMs actually take that into account. It makes the immersion factor that much more real. So it's like, you could just say, you know what, I'm going to put Storm King's Thunder aside, and I'm going to really live this up. And yeah, you made the purchase, but you can always go back and do that later with other characters or with another group or what have you.
Or pick it apart, you know, for the game you're running and put pieces of it throughout.
Right, and that was going to be my next thing of, okay, well, they've decided not to take part in the main adventure. Well, you have the ability to slowly seed things in, and perhaps something will happen that they're like, oh man, we really screwed up. We need to go and get involved in this, and now they're running second fiddle to another adventuring party that might be running this particular storyline that you're just narrating.
Right, or the consequences start appearing in your campaign or whatever. But it turns out he doesn't need our advice anyway because he came up with his own.
he solved the problem himself, and
he probably used the number one tool in the DM's toolbox, and it is. I want to say it's one of the things we've said on this channel more than probably anything else.
Talk to your players.
Just talk to your players, and that's what he did. And they were like horrified that he may have taken the advice of these other guys and just wiped out the whole party.
Yeah, communication is the key. If you're uncertain about what's going on, or if the players are doing something and you're not really happy with it, you're not comfortable with it, out of game, have a conversation. I know Nerdarchy, we do group chats in Facebook for all of our games, and I talk to my players, I talk to the fellow players in the other game that Dave's running, and we talk about the things that are going on. We make plans. I know that's a good way to communicate because everybody can put in their 2 cents when they have time.
I think I've been running for this group for going on 20 years, right?
Longer than that.
No. I think I started when I was about 22.
Okay.
I'm 41, so
okay.
This group specifically, I think I've been running for about 20 years. I've had 2 TPKs, and both of them were 10 to 15 years ago. The very first game I ran for you guys was an Evil Party. And you guys kind of died one by one.
Yeah, that one, it eventually resulted in a total party kill, but it wasn't one encounter that everybody got wiped. It slowly went on. And
you guys kept pressing on. You could have stopped it.
I was the first one out, I think, on that one. So
you sure it wasn't Ryan?
Oh.
His Minotaur?
No, the Minotaur died before we got there. It was didn't he have a Thri-Kreen that fell in lava or something along those lines?
Maybe. Ryan used to die a lot. Hey, I'm not saying we're brothers. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but he used to die a lot.
You were a dick back then too, so
that's true. And he was the least mature of the players, so he was probably the least likely to get any hints.
That's my third advice, and that's communicate with the players. As you're saying, the TPKing doesn't happen very often. The second game you had given out lots of advice, and we just didn't listen. And I can recall the encounter. I know it was in 3rd edition that it happened. I still have the character sheet somewhere. He's got deceased written on him. But it was late at night. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we kept pressing on, and you had given out a number of clues that we shouldn't be going here, and we had an encounter, and all of us got wiped.
Also, in those days, we definitely ran worlds that were more living than maybe we do nowadays. So, random encounters and stuff like that could totally happen, and they weren't necessarily geared towards your character's level.
Right.
And that was definitely more AD&D. 3rd edition kind of got into this. We build encounters for the level of the party, and and it's something I like to get away from as well. If you want to create more of a living, breathing world where you can encounter things that you're not ready for, so maybe you should talk or run, as the case may be.
And there's definitely a good feel to playing in games where that is possible, but certain players don't have the capacity to handle it. And I've shared the story a number of times where one of my characters died because I was playing a bloodthirsty character. I was bloodthirsty that night, and I wound up fighting something that I shouldn't have, and it had no problems talking to the rest of the party after it kicked me into a tree.
It didn't even notice your death. It was so insignificant to it. But yeah, so anyway, guys, you should go check out Cody's video. I will put a link in the description below so you can look at it. It's a hilarious rant, and he's got a great channel over there, so go check it out.
It is also not safe for work, so don't be listening to it where there's little ears or people that can't.
I feel like all the curse words got bleeped out. You said not safe for work, but there was a lot of bleeps. So, I don't know. Either way, watch at your own risk. And then come back and let us know what you thought. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on nerdarchy.com.
So, until next time,
stay nerdy.